path of the martial artist. It goes from a warrior to a healer, to a scholar, and then they say to a mystic or a priest. And there was so much peace inside this dangerous life and death situation. Then I realized, wow, it's not about the situation, it's about my internal operating state during the situation.
That moment where you called it, you met yourself. The most powerful question, what did you see? Who did you meet? Today, we have got an esteemed guest all the way over from the States. Now, he is a world leader in martial arts, functional fitness and mindset development, a master in Bruce Lee's Jun Fan Kung Fu and Jeet Kune Do, Filipino Kali, Chinese Kung Fu, and that includes Chen Tai Chi and Wing Chun Kung Fu, Western boxing, Savate, wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and an advanced medical Qigong practitioner. Without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Sifu Harinder Singh. We have been Facebook friends for at least a decade, if not much more.
Yes.
This whole meeting has happened by providence. Sifu Singh was on his way back home from a seminar in Germany and happened to do a little pit stop out of servitude to the Sikh community in the UK, and managed to make this happen. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to finally meet.
How are you feeling?
Feel great, man.
A lot of traveling, a lot of practicing martial arts, teaching martial arts.
Yeah, but it's what I love to do. So there's no other place I'd rather be.
Yeah, exactly. And how was your seminar in Germany?
Fantastic. It's amazing when you have a group of individuals that have empty cups and open minds that are seeking something more. Beyond style, beyond system, beyond ways and limiting beliefs, right? And so most of my seminars are open to martial artists of all styles. And many of the times the people that come have been doing a style for a long time. And it's great to have people come, because when they come, everybody trains together, they learn together, they grow together. Yeah. And if you create that environment, I mean, that's creation, right?
Absolutely. So, and you can only create when you're in the flow.
That's it.
So you're in your element.
You're in your element. And then once you learn flow in your element, you have to be able to flow all the time. And you realize it's not about the elements, that flow is always happening. And we're just out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'd like to help the audience connect with you to understand who is Sifu Singh. Where are you from? What do you do on a daily? Where do you live? Who do you live with? What's your typical day look like? Tell us about yourself.
Oh wow! All right. I have a beautiful wife and two young boys, Shogun and Ronan, who are 7, and one of Ronan Shogun's going to be 11 in the next month, and Ronan just turned 7, and my whole life. I live in California, in Orange County, California. If you don't know where that is, close to Laguna Beach, halfway between LA and San Diego. I love it there. There's so much sun. It's very different than how you guys live here. But I live in paradise, and that's by choice.
Viewers, I completely agree with what Harinder's saying. I also had the fortune to live in California and to soak in this California rays. And I've always said California is paradise. Honestly, it really is. If you haven't been to California, you've got to go. And if you do go to California, Sifu Singh has got a school there. You must pop in. You want to tell everyone where your school is?
Yeah, I have a private facility. It's called the House of 9 Dragons.
Wow.
You won't be able to find it, so you have to reach out to me.
Yeah,
it's not listed anywhere. But the reason I moved to California, I grew up in Toronto, Canada, and I love Toronto, Canada. It's one of the most multicultural, safe, amazing places to be, but it's cold, and so I said, if I go anywhere, I'm gonna go somewhere where it's nice and warm. And now I've lived most of my life in California, a majority of it. So.
Amazing. You're so lucky. It's one of my favorite places. the planet. In fact, in '99, me and my cousin went to the States. It was the first ever time I went to the States. And we did a road trip. We started off in New York, and then we went over to the West Coast, and went to San Francisco. And after that, we went to LA and then Vegas. And I remember the minute I stepped foot in San Francisco, something in my heart said, I'm going to live here.
Nice.
And it was one of those moments, and those moments like that has happened twice. The second time it's happened is where I live right now.
Okay.
Right, and it's like, and that was when I went to pick up a car. I went to actually test drive a car in the area where I currently live in England. And when I entered this village, I was like, I'm gonna live here.
Nice.
And it wasn't me making a choice; it was something that came through me. I'm gonna live here.
Yeah.
You know, it was knowing, but I didn't know when. It happened 2-3 years after that.
Nice.
But I knew in that moment. And San Francisco was one of those places. As Frank Sinatra said, you know, what was it? Leave your heart in San Francisco.
Yes, I think so.
You know, and you know, if you haven't been to San Francisco or California, you know, you're going to leave your heart there. Yeah. So it's, you know, so wonderful, you know, that you can share some of that California sunshine that's radiating from you, permeating all through your body.
Oh, thanks.
And you can go give that and share that with us Europeans, that you certainly are in need a bit of soul, as in sad, and soul as well. I mean, it's our honor and privilege to have you here to share your story with us today. But what brought this luck together? How did you end up in London?
I have an annual seminar, a retreat in Germany. It's a European retreat, and martial artists come from all over. And the gentleman from the Sikh Warrior Project reached out to me, and I saw some of the things they were doing with regards to bringing martial arts to the community. And, you know, as being a Sikh myself, the warrior is a warrior saint culture, right? And it's that idea of being a warrior. Well, you know, we're not on the battlefield anymore. And so martial arts provides you that place where you can understand pressure. You can understand how you relate under pressure. You can understand yourself and your fears in close proximity in a safe place where you can be pushed beyond your comfort zone. And that's a very important canvas to discover who you are, to discover your belief systems, your spiritual ideas. Spiritual ideas are great until they're tested under pressure.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for life to bring pressure, because life hits us all, right?
Of course.
It hits our relationships, our finances,
Yeah.
health.
Yeah.
We all get betrayed, rejected, and abandoned. So instead of waiting for those moments to come, we need to be training. We need to be practicing, relaxing under pressure, slowing down, expanding our awareness and not reacting, understanding and knowing ourselves of where our tendencies, preferences, likes, belief systems, limitations, restrictions come from, so we can systematically free them till we get to a point of consciousness of then we choose what is appropriate for what is necessary. And if that becomes your practice, that becomes your strategy for how you deal with chaos, problems, and that becomes your way of life. So then when the world hits you, you've been training. It's like a spiritual strength and conditioning. I think it's really important what they're doing with the Sikh Warrior Project. And so I said, hey, you know what? I can stop. And ultimately, to me, it's all about seva anyways. Yeah. Because seva will save you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what it's about. That's what drives me to do the things that I do. And we made it work. And come in tonight, a seminar at the Gurdwara tonight. And I think 70 people already coming, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And I love doing this, right? And love sharing this idea with people, and they're doing a great job bringing people together into the community. And then you and I, somehow, I think you said your student found out, told you, you reached out, and I said, okay, we're going to try to figure it out. And I was like, nah, you have to know what you need to do. You can't be thinking in your head what you should do. those are always going to be two conflicting things.
Yeah.
So when you get quiet enough, you realize, sometimes I don't need to be the one in charge. And when I become quiet, I realize there's another voice always speaking.
Yeah.
And it's saying, go here, do this, do that, stop. And now we're talking about a realization of every system and design of spiritual and self-development talks about without any labels.
Yeah.
So that's how we're here.
Absolutely. And that really is in the mood of seva, seva being selfless service. In Sanskrit, there's a specific name for this type of yoga. It's a yogic practice. It's one of the highest yogic practices. It's called Nishkarma Yoga. And this Nishkarma Yoga is to serve others in the name of something greater than yourself, without any strings attached, with no expectation. What if the world all operated from that modality? Everything would change.
For sure.
Everything would be liberated.
Yeah.
Because now there's no wanting anymore. It's only giving, but giving from your deep within. And it's liberating.
That's freedom.
It's absolute freedom.
Yeah.
Buddhists call it personal liberation, right?
Yeah. It's
right? Or discovering your original freedom.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk more about Jeet Kune Do.
Sure.
Because, as fellow martial artists, we also got something in common. The Jeet Kune Do practitioners and eternal students of the arts.
Yes, sir.
We're here to also help others, enlighten them along their journey. So I guess that leads us on to that next natural question, which is, how did you get into martial arts? What was your journey?
I started really young, 6 years old, in karate, and I just studied from 6 till I was 19 before I moved to the United States. And then I got jumped in a very bad street fight, wrong place, wrong time. And in that moment, I experienced a moment of freedom from fear and doubt and thoughts. And, we all build this mask we show the world. We create this acquired personality, this identity that we show to the world, and we do everything to protect it. But sometimes in those types of situations, they're real gifts because, God, the Tao, the divine, whatever you believe in, comes and slaps you in the face and says, yo, wake up. Wake up. And in that moment, because you have no other choice.
Yeah, the cosmic thappar.
Yeah. And hopefully the goal is, after you've taken enough cosmic thuppars, that you don't need to learn that way.
Hopefully not.
I tell you, man, I think that's the bridge to enlightenment.
Yeah, worse than a sucker punch, right?
Less thuppars, more wisdom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so in that moment, I discovered a peace and a calm and a freedom from limitations and ideas and beliefs about myself.
Yeah.
About the masks that I portray to the world.
Yeah.
So when I was 13 years old, I lost my hair to alopecia. So I'm a 9th grader. It's 1990.
Yeah.
Naughty by Nature, OPP is the #1 song in the world. Okay, that can put you right there. Now it's 1990, right? All you want to do is you want to mac on the girls, be cool in school. That was where I was in. I was in that jam. And hey, vanity is the thing, right?
Hey, look, man, you're in your youth.
And all of a sudden, my hair just starts to fall out.
Sorry to hear that.
So I say it was tough, very tough at that time.
Tough.
I would literally be going going like this, and it would just be coming out my hands,
Yeah.
And there's no The Rock. There's no Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
There's nobody to look at that time that's light skinned.
Nobody made bold cool, right?
No,
then.
not then. So
cool then, right?
I had to look like Yul Brenner, right, from the 1970s. This old dude in the cowboy movies. He's the only cool cat I've seen. But it makes you go into hiding.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to know. So I started wearing a bandana.
Yeah.
And a hat on top of it, right? And then I was like, I'm a Sikh, so I'm covering my head, right? But hiding. Yeah. Then later I got a wig and I wore a wig.
Yeah.
And I went back and forth between wearing a wig and a bandana and a patka and a hat and a puggardy. Then I got a wig again, right? But just hiding.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
what kind of wigs were you?
Oh, there's really good ones.
You, of course, are going to be good.
No, I mean, the good ones. I mean, okay, so they're not really good in the sense that the first technology of the wig that I got, if you see my high school photos, I got a bandana like this across because the edges are not that good. Now, the acquired personality you got to build to still rock that and be normal and still mac on the girls.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing that you just created, right? You believe it so much, everybody else believes it.
You was pioneering something new there.
I don't know, man. I was part of the house club. What is it? The House of Hair for Men, or Hair Club for Men. That was it. You know, the Hair Club for Men, a funny thing, they send you like an envelope that's not marked. They send you to a location that nobody knows. It's pretty like secretive, so nobody finds out. Yeah, it's a crazy operation. We all do something like that.
Yeah.
We all hide because we are really afraid of people's opinions, of judgments, what they think of us, right? Of not being good enough. And so I created this idea and this persona. I said, I'm going to study really well. I'm going to get good grades. I'm going to become successful. And when it grows back, I'll be happy because I'll be successful. I'll become a super athlete and all that. And I did those things. So it drove me. Because the masks we wear, they serve us till they don't serve us anymore. And they're built because we're afraid, and they're built to protect us.
Of course.
And I think that's something that's very important for people to understand.
Yeah.
But in that street fight, that layer of the acquired personality, gone. The self-doubt, gone. The fear, gone. And for the very first time, I met my true self. And there was so much peace inside this dangerous life and death situation. Then I realized, wow, it's not about the situation. It's about my internal operating state during the situation. And I felt the most beautiful moment in my life when they're chasing me. Things are moving in slow motion, but I'm free. So then that became my obsession. How do I get to this state? How do I keep it? How do I master it? How do I learn it? And then I was also angry because I was assaulted. I felt less than a man because I'm the karate man. I'm the tough guy in the group. I was supposed to protect us, and I didn't. Stories again. I said, okay, I want to become the most dangerous person I can become. And at the same time, I took an internal path of Tai Chi Chuan and medical Qigong and meditation and Neigong and the internal arts, Taoism and stuff. And on this side, I went hardcore street fighting as possible. And eventually, they all come back around, and you realize that the people who attack you, the problems that you face are really gifts to help set you on the path because you were off. You know?
Absolutely. We call them agents of the universe.
Yeah.
They're there as
It's great. I call them agents of the divine. That's nice. Yeah, it's perfect. It's in my book. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, they appear in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they appear gently and hold your hand and carry you. And other times they're the ones that are throwing the sucker punches.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they're right there in plain sight all the time. And you think that they're normal.
But you've just said something that's like really potent, right? That moment where you called it, you met yourself.
Mm.
The most powerful question here is, what did you see? Who did you meet?
Well, in that moment, you remember who you are. Many times people are trying to become somebody else. They're looking to change into something else. They're looking outside of themselves. But when you go back in that center of who you truly are, you're an unbiased observer.
Yeah.
You are filled with great joy, great gratitude, and unconditional love in that moment, because that is our natural state of being. Everything else is a deviation from the norm, right? And then when you see that, and in that moment, you're connected to time and to space. There is no future. There is no past. There is no opponent. There's just freedom and flow and movement. And that's why it's art. Because art is really life if you're coming from center, free from limitations and thoughts. But most importantly, we have to remember who we are, not keep looking outside of ourselves to become someone new.
Yeah.
It's already inside. It's kind of like, say you lose your keys.
Yeah.
You went out for the day and you lost your keys somewhere. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, where did I lose my keys? Now, what if you lost the keys in your house? You just have to remember where you put them. So the keys are right there. It's right there. It's inside your house. You just have to remember where it is. You don't have to be like, oh man, is it over here? Did I leave it at the park? Was it at the office last night? Did I leave it in somebody's car? Did I drop it in the Uber? Yeah. So that's what we're doing, looking for something outside that way, scattered in panicked instead of being, the keys are in the house. Yeah. And the house is in here, and in here. So I just got to go inside.
You are the house.
Always have been.
I think the real powerful, one of the real powerful teachings from what you shared there is that there's a meeting not of the body, not just of the mind, but of your spirit in that moment. Mm-hmm. And when you aligned with that and they snap back into place, you see yourself. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. Nice. I hope that really hits home hard, because true self mastery, which is our life's work, is all about helping people, really, as we say, eventually go back home. But as part of that process, is to realize their true, authentic higher self is exactly that. To be able to connect with themselves and remain connected with whatever's happening. Because life outside, you cannot necessarily influence what's happening externally. The only thing that you can influence and have direct control over is what's happening here inside you. And once you've got that center, you're a force of nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Absolutely. So that force of nature doesn't necessarily mean it has to be violent.
Sure.
There's this big misconception, that martial arts is violent. A student once asked me the question, said, Sifu, you teach spirituality, you teach the way of peace. Why do you teach violence? And my response to them is, well, number one, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. and secondly, is controlled violence. So as Sikhs, and our ancestors, the Sikh warriors, they were justice warriors. Sometimes you need to take a stand for injustice. Sometimes you need to speak up. Sometimes you need to protect your loved ones when they're put in harm's way. Sometimes you need to protect yourself when you're put in harm's way. And when that happens, Sikh ancestors, our gurus used to teach Sant Sapai. Sant Sapai, Sant meaning saint, Sapai meaning the soldier. And the two sides of a coin, they're not inseparable, right? Sometimes you need to be saintly. Sometimes you need to have that warrior element. You need to be the soldier and stand up for injustice. It's beautiful how that in that one experience, you had this realization. So from there, how did you then progress your martial journey? What did you explore after that?
So the state of the operator has always been the thing that leads for me.
Yeah.
And it's greater than the strategy is second, and then the tactics and tools is third. Yeah. And so when you look at the truth in combat, you're looking to find the truth first for yourself, because my truth is going to be different than somebody else's. Yeah. What I'm capable of doing versus somebody else. And that changes as we age and changes with your opponents. So when you stop and you take a Bruce Lee's philosophy, it's a philosophy in action.
Yeah.
It's a one of simpleness, directness, efficiency, but it's a process of exploration, experimentation, and discovery, and not just following a belief.
Yeah.
So a lot of pressure testing, and understanding not just the state, but the strategies and tactics. How do they work under pressure in environments where you can control chaos? And turn it up like a dial. Because if you put into too much chaos, you're going to snap back to your reactive tendencies and patterns and just continue doing what you do. But there's an intelligence of a dial of chaos to turn it up and turn it down, to then study yourself inside it and study the execution of it. So for me, the martial arts fall into first understanding body mechanics. mechanics of the body, the breath, the mind.
Yeah.
How do they work and fuse together? How do they work under the principles of relaxation, which flows down, connection? We raise the spirit. We say, Jardikala, rising spirit. Can you have that rising spirit, which is open to all possibility, but at the same time, your mind and emotions are rooted deep into the ground?
Yeah.
And then can you expand your awareness out beyond sight to feel?
Yeah.
Bruce Lee said, don't think, feel, right?
That's right.
Then the next thing from there is we have to start to study energy. You have to study the energy in your body, the life force that animates you. But on a simple level of energy also, how do you manage your energy? How do you manage your breath? Can you control your breath and your breathing? And that's essential to operating under pressure.
Yeah.
Then from there, we have to study effective, we have to weaponize our awareness.
Yeah.
To operate from there. And then study interactions.
Yeah.
Many times what happens is we study winning, but we don't study relating. We don't study the relationship. So the purpose of martial arts is studying a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, how do I relate to you? And everything should be designed for me to study a relationship. Once we understand that base, then they say, okay, well, know yourself, know your enemy, sure to succeed. Like you said earlier, you can't know anybody else, you know yourself.
Yeah.
Number 2, weaponize your awareness. Number 3, become and be like water.
Yeah.
And the being like water is about adaptability and change, not a fixed approach. And so therefore you break segments down, understand them, put them back into the mechanics of flow and freedom and movement. The next is you must study your training method. Yeah. That training method must be one that creates improvement.
Yeah.
It's like many times martial arts, I've been doing martial arts for 30 years. I ask, have you been getting better?
Yeah.
And what's your rate of growth?
Yeah.
And finally, last but not least, it's about emptiness.
Yeah.
Because in that emptiness, the no limitation, the abandonment of ways, there's a freedom of pure potential.
Yeah. There's
a limitless there. There's a formlessness there. And these are all cool words. You can be like, cool story. But the thing is that when you're doing your training, if you have a philosophical approach of an understanding of where you're going, it'll help you in your training get there instead of just doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Yeah.
So for me, if you have that understanding, you can apply it to any and all martial arts.
Yeah.
And then use those martial arts as vehicles to unlock what you're capable of.
And you've studied many martial arts throughout your martial arts career.
Yeah. Do
you want to share a kind of a synopsis? Give us a synopsis of your process.
Sure. So, I think I'm probably known more from what I teach publicly for Jeet Kune Do and Jumpan Kung Fu, Bruce Lee's martial art, representing the art. And also I do Filipino Kali and Sarada Eskrima. Done those systems, and Wing Chun Kung Fu and Tai Chi Chuan. I have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
My friend Savat under Daniel Duby de Laverne, who's passed. Boxing and wrestling. Got to do that. But I never teach my students one art. I don't take them up in a vertical of an art.
Yeah.
Tai Chi I do, because Tai Chi I have people who are coming for health and Qigong and Neigong and spiritual development. Yeah. That's different. And it's also personally been my secret power, my superpower all these years. But when I teach my students, I don't teach them, hey, this is in a vertical of Wing Chun only or Jiu-Jitsu only or Kali only. I bring it together so that they can understand through universal principles and processes of movement, of body mechanics, of timing, angles, distance, awareness, pressure, emotional control, killer instinct, sensitivity, timing, power, speed. We need to study the operating system upon which the applications of the martial arts take place.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you have your iPhone.
Yeah.
It runs applications and it's got an operating system.
Yeah.
So when your people are training at home, how much time is spent on the hardware?
Yeah.
How much time is spent on the applications?
Yeah.
But very little time is spent developing the operating system upon which the hardware and software operate.
Mm.
So could you imagine a iPhone that has all the hardware, awesome, that has all the applications, the Facebooks and everything, doesn't work without an operating system that can support it.
Yeah.
So if we want to get better, instead of collecting more physical techniques, if we want to get better, instead of learning more and more strategies and methods, take a look first at the operating system that you currently run what you have on, improve that to one of consciousness, of following and listening and joining and outreaching. And off of that, what you already do, you're going to get 10 times better without doing more.
Yeah.
And so I think it's about developing the operating system upon which the art works.
That's beautiful. One of my closest brothers, Jatinder, he's famously said, you got to upgrade the neck-top computer. And I hear that. And earlier on, you mentioned something quite powerful, right? You mentioned the external art and your superpower internal art, the martial and the art, the create the destroy aspect and the create aspect, the hurt aspect and the heal aspect, the two sides of the coin. Do you want to help share about your insights into how your realization of the martial aspect gave birth to the art aspect, or external to internal?
Absolutely. So I was meditating one day, and this voice that talks to me sometimes says, art is in the word martial already, and art is also in the word heart. So the heart of martial arts is you. You are what powers the art. I said, okay. And then when you start to study the path of the martial artist, it goes from a warrior to a healer, to a scholar, and then they say to a mystic or a priest. The warrior's path is you're learning to fight and defend against people who are trying to cause you harm, your family, and those who can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
We know that one. As a healer, you're learning to defend against internal and external pathogens that lead to disease. If your mind is in a state of dis-ease, that's where disease comes from. So studying what are the internal pathogens, belief systems, and structures that I have to heal from the traumas that I've been through. So that's the path of healing. Then you have to take a look at what creates diseases and become a healer. How do you help people heal?
Yeah.
Many systems have that. As a scholar, you have to study the ways of man, the cultural trends of going up and going down, energetic and psychology. And you look at The Art of War, Goro no Sho, the Book of Five Rings, Machiavelli, The Prince. They're all about understanding society and psychology and power, and people study that. So you study that to understand. So you can be free from it and also not be manipulated by it. Because people who understand power use it to manipulate. So you're defending against that. So you can flow with it. And finally, as a mystic or as a priest, you get to the point that you realize that this is about seva and it's about service. It's never about you. But you can't get to that point till you've freed yourself from yourself. And you put your oxygen mask on first. I remember my Sifu said, Singh, if you're ready for the next level, I said, yes. But we're going to take on this ridiculous task of freeing you from you. Freeing yourself from yourself. Freeing yourself from your fears and your doubts, your ways of doing things, so that you can access the superpowers of connectivity, adaptability, and creativity. So it's the connection. Connect to me, connect to you, connect to my loved ones, my opponents. But connection's a skill. Then I can connect to the divine, connect to something greater. Adaptability. Make yourself comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Without that, there's no adaptability. Now you can change with change, and that's the changeless state. And creativity is not ever about more, it's about less. Think of Michelangelo and David. David is always inside the rock. Michelangelo has to become quiet. He has to see and get rid of all the pieces that are not necessary to reveal Michelangelo. The butterfly is always inside the caterpillar. And inside each and every one of us is a master that's always inside.
Yeah.
But as we go through that process, that becomes art.
Yeah.
And when you get to the point that you've worked on yourself enough that you could show up into the world with trust.
Yeah.
You look at people like we see Bruce Lee. What attracts us to a Bruce Lee? A Muhammad Ali, a Dr. Martin Luther King, Michael Jordan. What is it when we look at them? Okay, and a Yoda, Mr. Miyagi. What is it? There's this aura about them. What is it? Joking aside with the mythical characters, but they all have follow an archetype.
Yeah.
But what is it? When we see them, we see that they operate from an extreme trust in themselves.
Yeah.
And a accurate perceptive awareness of what's really happening.
Yeah.
And those are the two hidden performance metrics, is trust and perception.
Yeah.
Trust means, am I coming from my center or am I coming from a mask?
Mm.
And I need to know that.
Yeah.
If I'm coming from my center, then there's a law of effective interaction that says your perceptive experience determines the actions you take.
Yeah.
So who is perceiving becomes the more important thing.
Mm.
If I'm perceiving from fear and doubt and a mask, then my experience of this event is not the actual experience, what I think is happening. Therefore, my actions will be co-measured to what I think is happening.
Yeah.
And that's very different from reality.
Yeah.
So to trust yourself and to have accurate perception, you have to know who's perceiving. And when you're perceiving without emotion, without thought, without judgment, without expectation, without interpretation, without extrapolation. And you're right here, right now, seeing things as they really are.
Yeah.
And that gives you an advantage with regards to how you're going to choose an appropriate response.
And, you've just used a really powerful word, perception. And there's a misconception around perspective and perception. And, just to put some clarity around that, perspective is how an individual sees the world. Perception is how you see it from everybody's perspectives without any judgment. And you did mention non-judgment as part of that last teaching that you shared with us, which is really powerful. And I think sometimes people don't know the difference between perspective and perception.
Yeah,
so
that's a great distinction.
Perception is so powerful to not be attached to or biased with any perspectives, but be free from that. It's like looking at things as a fly on the wall, as they say, as the observer. From the observer, you can see everything. As I say, there's always three truths. It's my truth, your truth, and the real truth.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And you can only realize the real truth is when you're not attached to any of this and any of that, and we just are.
That's right, 100%.
I want to kind of put a little focus on London.
Sure.
Right. So London is, I don't know if you know about this, but it's the knife crime and mobile phone snatching capital of the world.
Heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So what advice would you give to our viewers and listeners around that aspect of things? Because, we're talking about self-mastery, right? But, self-mastery appears in all walks of life, not just when we're in our safe space and trying to connect to our higher self, right? But, when we're out on the street, walking or shopping or doing whatever you're doing, you're exposed to and you're vulnerable to all the dangers out there. What advice would you give to Londoners?
So you take a look at a knife attack or somebody robbing you or something. How many things went wrong before they showed up? How many things did you miss? So were you up in your head thinking, worrying, doing, playing your phone, where you're going to go next? You're not present.
Yeah.
So we have to stop and look at not the knife, not the situation, not the robbing.
Yeah.
So how many things did you fail at with being so far away from your center that you didn't see it? Now, if we take a step back and if we were in the jungle, you'd be dead.
Oh, yeah.
right? So the point becomes, I think, the greatest self-defense is self-awareness and perception. Again, you have to turn your awareness into a weapon, but that means you have to be present. You have to practice presence. You have to practice, and sometimes the word presence is I think, maybe too big a thing for people to understand.
Yeah.
So it's simple. Practice pausing. Here's the most powerful practice you can do is the power of pausing. Learn to pause. Okay, so we're in a conversation. You ask me a question. Instead of me just thinking, you're asking me a question, I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to say? I'm not listening to you anymore. Have you ever had that situation where you're in that, you can see the person's just they're pretending to listening to you. They're doing their eye rolls and the body trying to say, oh yeah, I'm really interested, but they're just waiting to speak.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really listening, right? But you're in a conversation with somebody, and how many interactions do you have in a day? Start to institute a pause. So something comes, you pause, time out, taking a breath. Maybe even take a physical step back. Get out of here and feel the whole room. And now say something that is a response that doesn't come from security, control, or approval. Change your filter. So intercept security, control, or filter, and don't let them be your subconscious. So say you ask me a question and I'm thinking, oh man, this is the first time I'm on this podcast. People are listening. He's a Jikunda guy. I'm a Jikunda guy. I better say something smart. So first of all, I'm not even here because I'm worried about what you think, what the audience thinks. Then the next thing you ask me a question that I'm running through a filter. Okay, I'm going to say this so he likes me. Approval. I'm going to say this because I need to control where this conversation is going because otherwise I don't feel safe. Need for control. And then fear. You're afraid of what's going to happen. So these are things that we have adopted again, and they've become part of our unconscious operating system. And we have to become aware of it. So very simple thing. Pause, time out, stop the world. That gives you a moment of time. Take a step back. That gives you a little space. Taking a breath. Do these all together. Brings you down. Let your exhale be a little longer than your inhale. Number 3, tell yourself an important thing. I will not react. And number 5, I'm going to choose a response that doesn't come from security, control, and approval. And if I'm about to say it and it runs through the filter and it says yes to 1, 2, or 3 of those, I'm not going to say it. And then once I'm clear with that, we can go one step further. I will only say that which is necessary, true, and kind. Right? Sometimes things are necessary to say, but they're not true. So they're not really necessary. Sometimes things are necessary to say, they're true, but they're not kind. That means not the right time. This person can't take it. So we have to understand these filters of how we communicate. And if you practice that, it will change how you become aware. Because timing is bringing you in the moment. And we lose track of time and awareness. And that's why you get in trouble where it's not like somebody's stalking you. That's a different thing. It's not like a professional person stalking you. Like
bigger problems.
That's right. So that's a whole different thing. But this is random. And they're watching the person that's least paying attention. That's the easiest to snatch and grab from. So don't be a victim. So there's no kung fu other than this idea that I'm not going to be a victim. That means I'm not giving you the power of my awareness. That's when you're already lost. Right? And then if they come, then they come, man. That's written.
I tell my students, if you walk around like pray, you better pray. But you said 2 really powerful words there, right? Amongst all the other powerful words you're sharing. And one of them was react, and the other one was respond. Now, there's a marked distinction between these 2 things, right? So what Sifu Singh mentioned was he said, don't react, respond. You want to elaborate on that? It's just to give a bit more depth
for sure.
to the audience.
So if you look at most interactions, an event happens, we just react, and that creates an outcome. So that's E plus R equals O. Now, an event happens, you introduce a pause, E plus P, that gives you a moment in time to choose a response outside of just a natural reaction. Creates a conscious, creative outcome. So, okay, to understand reaction, we have to understand our patterns. They're reactive patterns, and most reactions are created from tension.
Yeah.
And so we have to understand where are the things that I get tense and under tension. What are the things I say, and what do I do? Do I go into fight? Do I go into flight?
Yeah.
Do I freeze? Do I submit? Right? You have to understand what is your pattern. If you see a problem, do you just tackle it?
Yeah.
Do you see a problem and your natural tendency is to step back?
Yeah.
Is one to stand your ground? Is one to find a way around? We all have these different patterns.
Yeah.
And unless we're conscious, those are reactions. Now, if I pause, I say, okay, this reaction I was going to do is actually the correct response.
Yeah.
That's different because I chose it. When you don't choose it, it's just a reaction. Reactions are designed for emergency systems.
Yeah.
When a tiger jumps out at you, you don't have time to do that, so you just react.
Yeah.
But the thing is that tigers aren't jumping out at you.
Yeah.
But we're reacting in every situation.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I guess that's the distinction between primal reaction, something that's innate, untrained, feral, and an intelligent response, something that's trained, something that's got a higher state of consciousness cultivated around
That's
that.
right.
That's greater than yourself.
100%.
So we want to get into that space of intelligent response. Thank you for sharing that. But you've bridged the gap, and you've bridged a big gap. And I'd like to kind of emphasize this. You've bridged the gap between something that you would perceive as a street situation and something that you perceive as maybe a personal meditative practice. And by bridging that, by introducing a pause, that breath, that center, that bring that awareness into where you are right now, so you can see what's happening, not looking for what's happening. Because quite often, as you said earlier, sometimes we're looking for our keys, we can't find them. But if you allow yourself to see, bang, there it is, right? So you've just bridged this practice of spirituality into the street. That's how you walk with that spiritual nature completely alive and awake, right? So thank you for bridging that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Clearly, you really want to help people. You cross paths with Jack Canfield at some stage in your life, who was a mentor to you and a world bestseller with his famous book, Chicken Soup for the Soul.
That's right.
And a big name within the personal development world. So he's, his pursuit was that as well. And I know that you revere him as well. And how did you cross paths with Jack, and how did he influence your process?
Well, just like the martial arts process, I was like, if I want to become a dangerous street fighter, I find the most dangerous person. If I want to find the best Taiji master, I find or best healer, I go find them.
Yeah.
So I've been called to write a book for years. And this is back now, 2012, I started writing a book. And I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I need a Sifu.
Yeah.
So who's the Sifu I can find? The guy who sold the most books ever in history.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, how do I figure out how to do this? So I went and I heard him speak at an event. And he had these different coaching programs and stuff like that. I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I do this all in.
Yeah.
I sold my Hummer, took it, went into the training program, started doing the training, and this was like a different organization.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got one of the gentlemen there, Steve Harrison, running the organization, who's done the marketing for Chicken Soup for the Soul, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, like Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus, or something like that. It's very
that was a
famous
massive
books,
book as well, yeah.
right? And so he was the guy behind them. So I said, all right, I need to find out how this whole thing works, not just how do you write the book, but what's the process if I want to get this message. And we were talking and we were spending time together, and he said, Jack's having a mastermind at his house.
Yeah.
And I think you should come. It was a small group of like 15 of us for 3 days, 4 days. I said, okay. So I made it happen and I went. And when I went, there was a moment where you had a time with him to go over your thing.
Yeah.
Where he would work with you directly.
Yeah.
The night before, I brought my book.
Yeah.
And it was like this thick. First iteration was called Mind Boxing, How to Win the War Within.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, just take it. Like, I was like, I just would love to give it to you. Now, lo and behold, I didn't know he's a speed reader. So he read it that night. And he came back the next day and he really liked it. We were talking, I was talking about what I was doing. And he said, this is fantastic. So then he asked me for an interview. So then he interviewed me on his podcast. You can check it out. It's on YouTube somewhere.
Okay.
And then from there, he invited me to come start speaking at his events.
Nice.
He has these breakthrough for success events.
Yeah.
And so I started speaking at those events. That's when I started my, full-time professional speaking career,
Wonderful.
And the first talk I ever gave was a TED Talk. Public talk I gave in 2012. I just gave my last one in 2024. And there was a voice on my side that always told me, this is what you got to do. And I enjoy doing it. And so we're working on the book and he loved it. So he wrote the foreword for the book, introduced me to the publishers. Everything's lined up, ready to go. And I'm in a meeting with the publisher and the publisher's like, okay, we're going to run 5,000 copies for the first one and then keep going like for the first iteration. And I'm like, 5,000 copies? Like, come on, man, 5,000? You put me in a box of 5,000? Like, I was like, go big or go home, right? So I was like, no, you put me in a box of 5,000. I'm going to make it a bigger box of 50,000. This is my thought. I'm being quiet, meditating again, and the voice says to me, hey, have you ever considered writing a book that doesn't sell 50,000 copies, but serves and changes the consciousness of 1 million people? And I'm like, this is not it. Because this, I had another person I teach and train with the Secret Service. It's one of the training directors there. He also wrote me the foreword. These guys loved the book. But this book was written for people who already done the work and gotten to a certain level. And then the other thing I realized, like, I'm not there yet. I've got a lot of work to do before I can influence the teachings in a different way.
Yeah.
So I took the book and put it aside and said, stop.
Did you publish it?
No.
Because
I was right down the road and I said, nope.
Because I saw it like years ago.
Yeah.
It was
coming.
Everything hot on the trot with
it was hot on it. It was coming. It was like everything was set up to go. And I said, stop. I did the same pause, and we're going to pause this because it's not ready, because it's not going to accomplish the greater mission.
So here's a question. Are you ready now?
Yeah. Yeah, the book's titled Masterful. The creative act of living life in flow.
Yeah.
And it's ready now.
Yeah.
And
but now it incorporates the spiritual embodiment of your teachings.
I had to change. I had a lot to change.
Yeah.
I had to understand it, just like in martial arts. I'm not going to teach you something I don't know.
Yeah.
That I theorize.
Yeah.
I have to know it.
Yeah.
And so the more I know, the more I don't know, but I know this much and to share it with people. And so Masterful's in its final phases, and it's a very different book.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be read linearly.
Yeah.
Because we don't come to where we are linearly. Yeah. It's.
And I take it's a workbook as well, right?
Yeah, that's part of it, and it's a book that changes as you read it.
Yeah.
So every time you read it, it'll be different. You read it in a different way.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say about it right now.
Yeah.
But
well, you heard it here first.
Yeah, I've never publicly said it. Offline, I'll tell you, but what the mechanics
we're
are.
Honored. We're honored for you to share that with us.
Just in the process, but of what it is. But it's different in the sense that it meets the reader where they are.
Yeah.
And then allows them to formulate a non-linear path the way they need to go, because how you would traverse the book would be different than somebody else reading it because of where you are and where you want to go.
Yeah.
And when you read the book in the different orders, it leads to different conclusions.
Yeah.
So it's a big, giant computer program.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. One of my mentors once said to me, if you're going to publish that book, make sure you're an embodiment of it. I said, what do you mean by embodiment, you better be an embodiment of all those teachings. Otherwise, the universe is going to test you on it so that you are an embodiment of it.
Absolutely.
So I was like, okay. So a year before that book was released, and we were already in editing process, and my first book was self-mastery book called Master Your Life, The Art of Martial Mind Power. And a year before that book was published, so we're in the editing process. It's a workbook. There's loads of artwork in there, and it's very pernickety to go through that. It took a year. I asked the universe, I said, look, dear universe, just give me the teachings that I need over the next 12 months so I am an embodiment of the work that I'm preparing to put out there. And it was a book on self-mastery. And I kid you not, it put me through my paces.
Yeah.
And I remember 1 month before those 12 months were up, I said to the universe, I said, look, okay, you got 1 month left, right? After that month, no more, right? Let's get it over and done with, because the last 11 months have been pretty hard, right? So, and it did. After that 12 months, it all eased. But by the end of that 12-month period, as I say, be careful what you wish for.
For sure.
But after those 12 months, I could tell you, right, I was more confident than ever with every word I'd put in there. So, and you mentioned embodiment too, right? So it's from one author to another, it's really powerful. But you have to be that process in order to share it with somebody else. And anyone that's going to receive your book is going to be very lucky.
I appreciate it.
We'll look out for that one.
Yes.
We'll look out
I'll
for
let
that
you know
one.
once it's ready.
We've got a tradition on this podcast, and the tradition is we have 2 questions. One question is a question that is generated by AI for you.
Okay.
Right, so we're embodying the AI.
All right.
And we've got another traditional question, which is a question that's left by our previous guest.
Okay.
All right, so
Sure.
we'll give
Sounds
you the
great.
first one with the AI question. If an artificial intelligence could perfectly analyze your life, your training, your decisions, and your patterns, and it showed you one hidden habit or belief that is currently limiting your highest potential, what do you think it would reveal, and what would you be willing to change?
Well, first of all, the artificial intelligence can never do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a soul. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
And it will
one.
never, despite
Regardless,
technologists,
no, it won't.
being a technologist,
So that's not going to happen.
in pursuit of trying to create artificial consciousness.
I think it's a constant work in progress. It's always about letting go of more.
Yeah.
It's always about shedding older skins and patterns and going deeper into the onion. Because when you remember I said you're in the center, and then you have fear, and then after fear you have doubt, and you create a mask.
Yeah.
But when you come here, then that starts again. And then you go there and it starts again, and you go there and it starts again. So it's this continuous peeling of this onion, because there is no destination.
Yeah.
The destination is the peeling. And so I work on every day to let go more.
Yeah.
I work on every day to feel more.
Yeah.
I work on every single day pausing.
Yeah.
Because it's like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
The day you don't, your breath smells. No matter how many years you've been doing it for.
Yeah.
So this is not something that ever stops.
I like that.
It never goes away.
Yeah.
That mask you had comes right back.
Yeah.
It comes right back. There's just, people have to understand, even the greatest masters I've seen, it comes right back.
Yeah.
So the thing is, how well can I catch it?
Yeah.
And then change back to my center.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question.
Oh, it does. It does indeed. It's a continual process, continual practice.
It'll never stop. Everything is just done deeper.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I think there's a misconception, like there's a destination, and self-mastery is just continuous sharpening of the sword, no matter how sharp you think you are.
It's a continuous process of change and transformation.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you go places changes.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. And the different rides that you use, I don't mean that metaphorically, whether you're using in our cases or using a certain martial art, and then you might be using another spiritual practice or a healing modality or whatever tools you use. It's constantly evolving you. You get to a certain level, then something else is gonna take you to the next level. What is that thing?
Yeah.
The second traditional question is, it's another deep one. If everything you have learned in martial arts, in life, in success and in failure was suddenly taken away and you were stripped back to zero, what would you rebuild first? Your body, your mindset, your skills, your relationships, or your sense of purpose, and why?
Stillness. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yep. No hesitation. Stillness is the master of unrest.
Yeah.
And when you see Jesus the Christ, be still and flow.
Yeah.
Stillness is the superpower.
Yeah.
Without stillness, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Everything else is just chaos.
Yeah.
So, stillness.
I'm glad you said that. We've got 9-step self-mastery process, and the first step is stillness, because nothing happens from that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Movement comes from stillness.
Beautiful. Yeah. Really powerful. And, I think, from life experience, the whole world went through the pandemic. Something you mentioned earlier, just pausing or practicing the art of stillness. It doesn't mean you stop and that's it, nothing's happening. It's just take a moment for becoming aware of what's happening inside you and outside you, and allows you to observe what's happening, orientate yourself in that space. So then you can take an informed decision and then take constructive action from there onwards, right?
Absolutely. When I work with my military and my government agencies, we start with that.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing, and they know because they're under those pressure situations. So I tell them, be war, choose peace, die less. So B stands for your breathing and your energy.
Yeah.
That's being here now.
Yeah.
War is watching, A is adapting, R is responding.
Yeah.
Then you're saying choose peace. That means peace is a choice.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
And die less means we're all going to die.
Yeah.
We just don't know when.
Yeah.
So we need to bring death right here so I can live more right now, which is dying less.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Is there any last thing that you would like to share with the listeners and viewers?
Wherever you are right now is right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So accept it first. Allow yourself to be who you are.
Yeah.
Quit chasing things outside of yourself. But most importantly, time.
Yeah.
Time is running out for all of us.
Yeah.
Time here literally on this podcast is running out. Right? It's the one thing that we don't have a bank account for.
Yeah.
We lose track of. Don't lose track of time.
Yeah.
Because time is an illusion. We get lost in our heads and we think we have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
And my teacher said to me, do you want to learn real gratitude?
Yeah.
And I said, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a very powerful practice. And I'll share that with the listeners as the last thing.
Yeah.
So when you go to sleep at night, one day, you're not going to wake up. Or one day when you wake up in the morning, you're not going to sleep at night. You just don't know when that day is. You don't know if it's today, tomorrow, 40 years from now.
Yeah.
That means know that. And once you know that, you're going to live this day with great joy, unconditional love, great gratitude.
Yeah.
Because you know it could be your last.
Yeah.
And that is taking your power back from complaining, criticizing, condemning, allowing other people to rob you of your peace, your presence, and your playfulness. And that's why you live in overwhelm, exhaustion, and distraction. So the most powerful thing is pause, stop, and remember now is not forever. And then you will be free.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, before we close up, you know, I want to give you a gift.
Oh.
And you know, in Sikh tradition, you know, our turban or our crown is the highest gift.
Yes.
I want to gift you my cap.
Oh man.
Right. So this is my cap.
Thank you so
from
much.
Me to you from my heart.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank you deeply for coming all the way over and stopping over to see us today. It's been an absolute pleasure, absolute
thank you
joy
so much.
To talk to you here and to share some of your deepest experiences, your innermost experiences. Thank you for sharing so much. And
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I hope to have you back soon. All right.
My man. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.